What's up, everybody? My name's Philip Marshall. I'm with Title Realty Partners by eXp Realty here in Wilmington, North Carolina. If you're new to the channel and you want to know everything from eating, playing, drinking, all things real estate here in Wilmington, North Carolina, make sure you follow the channel, subscribe, hit the notification bell so that you can be the first to know everything that's going on here in the Wilmington, North Carolina market. So you want to move to Wilmington, North Carolina, but you're not sure if it's going to be worth the jump for you and your family. Well, today I'm going to go over my personal top 4 pros and cons here in Wilmington, North Carolina, so you can hear from a local resident the honest truth on whether it's going to be the right move for you to the port city. Okay, so first off, we will start off with the negatives here in Wilmington, North Carolina. Now, I'll go through this list, but keep in mind, I do love it here. So even though these are negatives, they are not the end of the world to me and to all the residents here, but it is something to be prepared for when you get down here so you can make the right decision so that this is the right place for you and your family. First up on the list is going to be the traffic here. Now, if you're from a small town or a rural area, this is going to be a bit of a change for you. And maybe you're from somewhere like New York, Chicago, LA, you're from California moving in and you don't think the traffic can be that bad because it's already pretty bad where you're at. You may be right. The traffic is pretty bad already where you're at. But here in Wilmington, North Carolina, the city is so small and we're having such a huge population growth, the traffic systems just can't keep up. Even though the city is about this big and normally it could take you 10, 15, 20 minutes to get across town, at 9 o'clock in the morning, lunchtime, and 5 o'clock when people are getting off work, it sometimes could take you 45 minutes to an hour, maybe even longer. I mean, it gets stop and go throughout the entire city sometimes during those peak hours. Not the end of the world, but it is something to be prepared for if you're not used to it, or even if you are and you think you're getting away from it. Well, that's what everybody else is thinking when they're moving here, and more people are moving here and it's becoming a bit more of an issue. The North Carolina Department of Transportation, they are creating a few different things to help with the traffic. There's a bypass going on one of the main roads of Market Street here in Wilmington that's supposed to divert 15 to 20,000 people a day. So hopefully that'll help, but it is something that you're going to have to be prepared for and definitely plan ahead when you're getting here to Wilmington. When it's summertime and the tourists are here, the students are out, it can get pretty locked down from times to time. Next up on the list is going to be the bugs. If you are not from an area down south or you haven't lived down south your whole life and you're not experienced with how it's going to be during the summertime when it gets hot out, there are a lot of insects, bugs, mosquitoes, all kinds of stuff that comes out when it gets hot. And it is not the end of the world, but you know, if you're coming from California where it's the land of no bugs and you're coming from a northern state, maybe you're in New York or something like that, and they just don't ever come out, it is something that you're going to need to be prepared for when you come down here. They're absolutely everywhere. It gets 90, 95, 100 degrees sometimes, and they're all different types of insects that are going to come out. I hear this a lot from a lot of our clients that they're very surprised and it's something they're not used to. For me, I would say the biggest issue, probably mosquitoes. Because in the summertime, we're here on the coast. You know, we've got the Intracoastal Waterway, Cape Fear River, we've got water all around us. So mosquitoes come out and there's a lot of them down here. It's not the biggest issue for everybody, but for me, it definitely is where I live. I mean, sometimes it can get pretty bad. I'm here on the island at Carolina Beach and it can get kind of rough out here sometimes. What the city does, you know, maybe you live in the middle of the city or that's where you're going to be moving to or in a suburb area. The city of Wilmington, they have trucks that they send out that spray and it does help take care of it a little bit. Some other things that you can do, you can put out things like citronella candles or the torches that you can put, you know, in your backyard when you're hanging out and they're pretty bad out there. You definitely don't want to have any standing water or anything like that. And if they're a serious problem where you're at, the next step is going to be to hire out a company that's going to come by and they treat the yard, they can treat the area, spray around your house, and that really does help. But at the end of the day, it is something you're just going to have to get used to when you're down here. There's not a whole lot you can do, and be prepared. There's going to be a lot of insects and bugs when it gets to summertime. In the wintertime, everything goes into hiding and it can seem like there's nothing out here. Summertime, everything's out. So be ready to experience that when you get down here. Next up on my list is going to be the hurricanes. This is probably everybody's favorite when they come down here. If you're not used to this and you haven't lived on the coast your entire life, it can be a surprise and it is absolutely something you need to prepare for. There's not a catastrophic hurricane every single year, but you can count on tropical storms coming in, and they're not the end of the world, but they are pretty strong. When a major hurricane comes in, you could have to evacuate. I know here on the island at Carolina Beach, it can get pretty rough sometimes since we're so close to the water. And some areas of Wilmington, you're going to get closer to Wrightsville Beach. We're right on the coast. Maybe you're downtown up on the Cape Fear River. You definitely need to be prepared. A few years ago, we had Hurricane Florence here, and when that came, it was considered a 500-year flood. It was pretty devastating. I mean, we had people evacuate, couldn't get back. I know I couldn't get back to my home for 2 to 3 weeks. Every now and then, there is going to be a hurricane that's going to come through that is, category 3, 4, 5. That could happen, and you want to be prepared. There are some things you can do in advance. Make sure you've got good home insurance, flood insurance, and a generator is something you're going to want to invest in. Power could go out a few days, or it could go out for a week, 2 weeks. And if you don't have a generator, everything in the refrigerator is gone. I mean, you're going to be in the summertime, mid-August, and it's 90 degrees out, no AC. So definitely it's something to look into and invest in and be prepared for when you're planning on moving here. Not the end of the world. Everywhere you go, like I said, has some sort of issue. You've got tornadoes in some areas. We have those here too. You've got earthquakes, all kinds of stuff, forest fires. But when you come here, this is what we have to deal with here. It doesn't keep people from moving here. It's just something to be educated on. That way, when you do get here, you're prepared and you do the right steps to make sure everything is protected for you. That's going to bring me to my last topic, my personal favorite, and that is the allergy season and pollen. For me, this is a big problem. I have a lot of issues with allergies and pollen, and every springtime for a few months, the pollen comes out. You wake up one morning, everything's fine. The next day, pollen is absolutely everywhere, and it is really bad down here. It is going to completely cover your car, your house, driveways, everywhere you go. You'll see everybody's car covered in it. For some people, they have never had an issue with allergies, and it doesn't bother them at all. Some people have a small issue with it, and it's just kind of annoying. For me, it's pretty bad, and it's very frustrating to deal with every year, and it's something I do not look forward to, but thankfully it is seasonal, so it comes and goes. It's just another part of being down here in the South and in Wilmington. I know a lot of people that are moving in maybe from the Northwest, California area. There's not a lot of pollen everywhere. You might not even know you have really bad allergy issues until you get down. So it might make sense, maybe come visit during the springtime, check it out, see if you are comfortable down here. It doesn't really keep a lot of people from moving here, but it is frustrating, that's for sure. And I know for me, it's extremely frustrating. So that is going to be it for the list of negatives. They are all not that bad. Like I said, I absolutely love it here in Wilmington. Everybody I know that moves here loves it. Most people never move away. I mean, that's why we're the most moved to city in America right now, and that's because everybody loves moving here. That is leading me into the next topic, and that's going to be my pros here in Wilmington. And we're going to get to that right now. All right, guys, and we're back. So now that we got all the negatives out of the way, let's talk about my favorite reasons and everybody's favorite reasons on why they're moving here to the port city, why we're number one in the country. For me, number one on my list is going to be the beaches. There's a few different beaches here in Wilmington and around Wilmington. In any direction, you're probably no more than 15, 20 minutes to a beach in any direction. The first beach, the closest beach to Wilmington directly is going to be Wrightsville Beach. This is a lot of people's favorite beaches. It is one of the nicest ones there. It is, I would say, a little more upscale. There's a lot of higher end homes. The homes probably range from $1 million to $5 million. There's even a home that just listed a little while back at $13.9 million. It's probably the highest priced home in our area for years. If you've got $13.9 million and you want to be my neighbor, make sure to call and hit me up. I'd love to help you move to Wrightsville Beach. It's a great area. There's a boardwalk area. You've got Johnny Mercer's Pier. There are shops, restaurants, bars down the main walkway at Wrightsville Beach before you get out onto the beach. They are a little more tightly knit than some of the other beaches, so they enforce rules and restrictions a little harder. Wrightsville Beach, though, is a beautiful beach. The homes are beautiful. It is a very high active area and fitness area. They have the Loop, which is the loop all the way around Wrightsville Beach. It's about 3.5 miles. People run the Loop every day. You'll see all kinds of people working out, doing all different types of training in the park. So it's a very active community, and a lot of people love it out there. For me, though, first up on my list for beaches is going to be Carolina Beach. I am a little biased because I live out here on the island. Thankfully, I love the area. I'm right by the boardwalk. It is more of a family-friendly beach. There's a lot more to do with the Ferris wheel. They have different roller coaster rides, a few different ones up there, a lot of shops, bars, restaurants, all along the boardwalk area. A lot of stuff for you to do. There's the locals that ride around and their golf carts everywhere. Golf carts are street legal all throughout the island, so that's super cool. As you go down Carolina Beach, you continue into Curry Beach, which is 5-10 minutes down the road from Carolina Beach. They're almost one and the same, but the line is just about 10-15 minutes into Carolina Beach, and then you're in Curry Beach. There's not as much to do for tourists in Curry Beach, so I would say it's more second homes and just residents living out there. Carolina Beach has more of a vacation rental type of a feel. It's summertime, there are just tourists everywhere. It gets packed over here on the island, but like I said, it's more family friendly. You have things like July 4th where they have fireworks out here right around the boardwalk, and it's just a really good time out here. It is a very strong community feel. Everybody is always waving to you, saying hey, they want to know how you're doing. Really friendly neighbors, and it's just an awesome place to live. I absolutely love it out here. One of my best friends lives out here, and moving to the island has just been an awesome trip for me and my fiance. I don't know when we're planning on moving, if we're gonna move, but we'll be here for a while, and we love it. If you do end up coming to Carolina Beach and visiting Curry Beach, as you go down the island, you can go to Fort Fisher and visit the aquarium. That's right at the peak of Curry Beach, down at the end. Like I said, there's not a whole lot to do in Curry Beach other than a few shops and restaurants, but if you want to have fun, you want to go to a family-friendly beach, come check out Carolina Beach. It's definitely the place to go if you want to visit for the summer and check out the area. Next up on my list is the weather. That is also a huge pull and reason for why people are moving down here. You know, I hear from tons of clients all the time, I am just tired of the freezing cold weather. I'm tired of -30s. I'm tired of the snow. I'm tired of shoveling the snow. I'm just tired of the cold weather, and they move here because it's just sunny and 60 degrees, 70 degrees for a large majority of the year. We have really long summers and we have really short winters. However, when it is summertime, when it's hot, it is hot. Some people, it's too much for them. You know, it's not sunny and 75 all year round. When it gets hot here in the summertime, it gets extremely hot. You know, 90, 95, 105 we got to last year, a few days. I mean, sometimes you don't even want to go outside. It can be so hot. For a lot of people, that's a bit of an issue in the summertime. For me, I'm from the area. I love it. I would way rather have it hot than have it really cold. So for me, this is just a bonus. And a lot of people here, you'll see everybody still out at the beaches. It's definitely a big pull to come to Wilmington for the summertime, and that's why we're a huge tourist attraction for people to move, come down and visit Carolina Beach and all the beaches. However, when it gets cold, it gets very cold. It is very humid here. When it's hot, it's extremely hot because of the humidity, and when it is cold, it is bone-chilling cold. But that's going to be it for the weather. I love it here because of the weather. Most people move here because of that, to get away from whatever they're coming from, the freezing cold temperatures. If you want to be somewhere that summertime, it's beautiful, sunny, you've got the beaches out here and the weather's nice, Wilmington might be the place for you. All right, next up on my list is going to be the small town feel. I hear this from a ton of my clients that, you know, where they're coming from, maybe it's a bigger city and, you know, they've got kids there. They're trying to have more of a community feel, a neighborly environment where you're getting to know your neighbors, you build relationships and friendships within the community. And that's just hard to do when you're in a bigger city because there's just so many people and everybody's going and moving to wherever they're going to every day. And it's hard to connect with the area. But Wilmington, even though we're growing super fast, still has a small town feel. I hear that from everybody. I've lived here for a large majority of my life, and I've built some awesome relationships and friendships from my neighbors, people in the area. A lot of people dig roots here in the community and just have a really big local feel. A lot of the restaurants, shops, businesses, there's just a huge emphasis on local, like everything local. Our coffee shops, local. Barber shops, local. All kinds of stuff. I've never been a really big fan of the huge branded restaurants and all the different businesses like that and shops. So here in Wilmington, there's just a huge emphasis on small business, local, and the support from the community is awesome. So if that sounds like you, then I think you're going to enjoy this area. Even though we're growing super fast right now, we are still going to keep that community feel, hopefully. We do have, though, even though it's a small town feel, we really do have a few other things like the riverfront, pretty big booming downtown that's busy almost year round now. If you need more of a high-end shopping experience, kind of a luxury experience, we have the Mayfair Town Center where they have a lot higher end shops, restaurants, and it's just a different type of community. That's why I love Wilmington and people love it here. There's a little bit of everything all over. You know, you've got downtown, that kind of vibe. You've got the Mayfair Town Center. It's like more upscale, high end. You've got the beaches. Wrightsville Beach is a high end beach. You've got family-friendly beaches. You've got a little bit of everything. You can get a suburb feel here in Wilmington. It's kind of a melting pot with everybody moving in. It's a great place to live. That's why I love Wilmington. I mean, that's it for my pros and cons here in Wilmington, North Carolina. Hopefully you've got a little bit of insight. Maybe you've been thinking about moving to the area, or you just want to check it out. Come visit us, stay down here in Wilmington, Wrightsville Beach, Carolina Beach, and just check out the area. It's not the #1 most moved to city for nothing. Obviously, people love the area. I absolutely love it here. Most of the clients that we have that move here love the area and are super thankful they found this area. As always, look, whether you're moving now or next year, we would love to help you make that move down here to the Port City. Give us a call, shoot us a text, email, schedule a Zoom with us so that we can make sure you have an easy transition down here to Wilmington, North Carolina. And that's it. We'll see you next time.